whole picture.
Protein membrane?
It's thylakoid. This is the thylakoid membrane. And there are hundreds of these chlorophyll A molecules, but I'm just drawing a few to show you. So light is being absorbed into this chlorophyll A molecule, and it excites electrons that are sitting in here. So the electrons get excited, and what do they want to do? They want to
Get out of there?
They want to leave, yeah. So this electron transport chain, which is just a series of proteins, picks them up and moves them, and it gets moved over here to this protein, and this protein acts as a pump. All it wants to do is pump hydrogen ions into the thylakoid. That's all it wants to do. So where does it get its energy from?
Sun? That little thing with the electrons?
Electrons. Yes, remember they got excited from the sun, and they've moved over here, so they have energy to give off, so they give this protein energy, and that protein uses that energy in order to pump hydrogen into the thylakoid. So it gives off some of its energy to this protein pump. The protein pump uses it to pump hydrogen ions in, and it continues moving along this chain. It's lost energy now because it gave it up to this protein. So then it hits this chlorophyll A over here, which has electrons in it. And because it's lost energy, it joins with another electron in order to both move out here, outside of the thylakoid. And outside waiting here is NADP, which is an electron acceptor. It picks up the two electrons and a hydrogen that's floating out here, and it becomes NADPH, which is just a storage molecule for energy. So that's how NADPH is formed, and we'll talk about NADPH tomorrow. But that's the way you form NADPH. In order to replace the electrons, because these are constantly moving, we have to have more electrons made. So we have this water splitting enzyme here. The plant has taken in water. This water splitting enzyme splits the water. What does it split it into?
Hydrogen.
Two hydrogens. So hydrogens will stay in the thylakoid, and remember we've been pumping hydrogen in as well. What else? Oxygen. And then electrons also are a product of splitting water. So that product, or that process of splitting water is called process of splitting water. Photolysis. Photolysis is the process of splitting water. So we've got hydrogen that stayed here, oxygen that's been split up, and electrons moving here. This oxygen, because there's only one, it waits for another water molecule to be split, and then it combines, and we get O2 gas that's released. Hydrogen, so hydrogen's been filling up because it's been pumped in, and the water's been split, so there's this high concentration gradient in here of hydrogen ions. So all they want to do is be pushed out. So the pushing out of the hydrogen ions is called chemiosmosis. This starts spinning because all these hydrogens are just being pushed out, and the hydrogen is released out here. Out here we have ADP and a phosphate group. And in order to make ATP, we have to have some energy. This hydrogen is the energy necessary to make ATP. So ADP plus the phosphate that's out here plus this energy of hydrogen ions make ATP. Oh, and this protein is called ATP synthase. So why would this be called ATP synthase? What does this synth mean? If you have biosynthesis or any kind of... It's building ATP. This protein pushes out or turns out the hydrogen needed to build ATP. Just hydrogen out here. So this hydrogen that's out here surrounding the thylakoid is being pumped in right here.
What is
there's
that
still
called?
this right here. It's just a protein pump. So there's hydrogen floating around out here. There's NADP floating around out here. It's just waiting for an electron. So the electrons come out, takes two electrons, NADPH, and some hydrogen ions, and they all combine and they form NADPH.
So is that the end of that part?
It's the end of the light-dependent phase.
Okay. The hydrogen in the middle, whenever it's like going out, like this all goes go all at once? How come?
Yes, this is all happening all at once.